How's your brother doing? I'm Joseph. This is Input English. Today I have a story. The Input English channel provides comprehensible input for English language learners the world over. Comprehensible input is arguably the best way to learn the English language. If you're new to this channel, we have a lot of content for you to use as comprehensible input, and I also have a lot of videos that explain how comprehensible input works. So perhaps you studied English in school, but maybe you can't understand native spoken English. Maybe you'd like to speak better. Maybe you'd like to pronounce English a little better. If any of that sounds familiar, this channel is for you. So let's get started with the story. Ginger asked her husband, Bill, "How's your brother doing?" Ginger was referring to Bill's younger brother, Sloan. Bill answered the question. He said, "Sloan is doing great. Funny you should ask. We're having lunch together today." Now, when Bill said, "Funny you should ask," he was not referring to this as a humorous question. It wasn't funny in a humorous setting. It was funny because it was a coincidence. And funny you should ask usually refers to a coincidence. Basically, what Bill was saying is, oddly enough, we're having lunch together today. Indeed, they did have lunch together that day. When they arrived at the restaurant and saw each other, they embraced, much the way brothers might do, and then they found their way to a table. They placed their order and started talking. Bill asked Sloan how he was doing, and Sloan explained that his last year was a rough patch. What he meant was he had a difficult year. A rough patch is a metaphor for difficulties. Sloan went on to explain that he focused on work and spending time with friends, and things gradually got better. He felt that he was depressed because his dog had died, and then a few months later his wife left him. He was definitely depressed. At one point, he thought that maybe he could use that depression to his advantage because he had heard that creative people, poets, and writers frequently were very depressive. So he thought maybe he should start writing some poetry. He actually found a YouTube channel on that subject that he really enjoyed. Writing with Andrew was a great way for him to learn about the process of writing and writing poetry. He scratched down a few verses in a notebook, but as he started feeling better, he wrote less and less in that book. He has not written any verses in his poetry book in months. But this is not what Sloan wanted to talk about. What he wanted to tell his brother Bill is about a phone call he got. He went on to tell the story. He got a phone call on his cell phone, but he didn't recognize the number, so he let it go to voicemail. When he checked the voicemail, it was Susan's voice. He was astonished. He didn't expect a call from Susan. So who is Susan? Well, Susan is a co-worker. They both work in a big company, but they work in different departments. He always thought Susan was wonderful, but there were 3 problems with Susan. He was married, she was married, and they both worked for the same company, and you know how that works. No hanky-panky with coworkers. It's not safe. About a year earlier, Susan had left the company and moved to a new position in another company. He had not heard from her in 1 year. When he heard her voicemail, he immediately called her. He greeted her on the phone and said, "Susan, it was great to hear your voice." She paused and said, That's why I called you. I wanted to hear your voice. Hearing those words was astounding. She had left the company on the advice of her therapist. She too had gone through a divorce, and her therapist recommended that she change jobs, change apartments, and spend time with good friends. She called Sloan, hoping that he might want to have coffee with her some morning. Sloan jumped at the chance. He thought that was a great idea. He would love to see Susan again. Things have changed. He's no longer married. They don't work for the same company. And she just explained that she's divorced. So the three problems with Susan have gone away. Now, he didn't want to get ahead of himself on this. This was just an invitation for coffee, but Sloan was very interested in drinking coffee with Susan. They hit it off very well, and she proposed that they take a hike together the following week. They did that, and then they decided to schedule another hike. They went on 4 very long hikes and really enjoyed the time they spent together. After their most recent hike, about 3 weeks ago, Susan asked Sloan if he was going to take her out to dinner, what restaurant would he choose? He said, "Oh, that place on the lake." She said, "Oh, the lakeside restaurant?" He said, "Yes, that's nice. The food is good and the view is nice. That would be my choice." Then she asked, "Well, if you were going to ask me to dinner at the lakeside restaurant, what day of the week would you choose?" He said, "Oh, Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. I wouldn't want to do it on a weekday. Friday." She went on to ask, "Well, if you were going to take me out on a Friday to the lakeside restaurant, what time would you pick me up?" He said, "I think about 5:30, get there before 6. And with that answer, she said, "So what's stopping you?" They went out to dinner the following Friday. They went to the lakeside restaurant and had a magnificent meal. He paid the bill and they stepped out of the restaurant. They noticed that it was sunset. Sloan suggested that they walk out on the dock over the lake and get a good look at the sunset. So they did just that. They walked out the ramp over the lake, and at the end of the dock, there was a building. On the other side of the building, there was a patio with a railing, and this is where fishermen usually fish from that dock. When they got there, there was no one there. It was sunset. The sky was beautiful. The sky above was blue, but the sky to the west was a combination of reds and orange and golden yellow. There were fine clouds to make the light even more interesting. They stepped near the railing, and Sloan stood behind her about 1 step. She was shorter than he, so he could see well over the top of her head. As they gazed upon this beautiful sunset, Susan very slowly took a step back and then another until she was pressing against him. She then looked over her left shoulder and said, "It's getting a little cool. Hold me." Sloan did what he was told. He wrapped his arms around her and she put her hands on top of his hands. They stood like statues for a long time. The sun went down. She again looked over her shoulder and said, "Loosen your grip. Don't let go. Just loosen your grip. I want to turn around." Again, Sloan did what he was told. He loosened his grip and she turned 180. So now she is facing him. He's looking a little bit down into her eyes. She said, "I'm having a wonderful time. Thank you." He didn't know what to say. So he didn't say anything. And she looked up at him and said, "This is so great." I invite comments below. If you like videos like this, be sure to click on this one next. See you soon.